It's me.
I was wondering if after all these years you like to me.
Oh, I don't know the lyrics.
Go over some shit that we did when I fucked with you and you did not like.
Remember how Adele was telling us on the low she loved black men when she cast Tristan Wilde in that thing,
and she said hello from the other side.
I got cut up with this white man, but I'm gonna let him slide.
I accidentally had a fully white child.
I didn't mean that.
JK.
I'm sorry. I can't give him back.
Hello from the wrong side. Anyway,
I can give back my kid.
No, anyway,
Give him back.
Alright, so welcome to Insert Name Here, brought to you in full technicolor and living sound with the dulcet tones of the great Alejandra Tejeda.
Yes, that is me. That is I, Alejandra Tejeda.
The deep, the bassy, jazzy, wonderful sounds of Kane Patton, the best black man in the vicinity.
Well, hello there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And me.
I appreciate that.
The cool as a cucumber. The cold as...
Ice cold.
What's cooler than being cool?
Ice cold.
All right. Anyway,
sick.
That's me. Malachi
Both y'all
me.
sick.
So, yeah, here we are. We're going to start off with our usual... Unfortunately, we always got to start off with our RIPs. RIP to Black Rob. And it sucks. Why black men that are like about 50 keep dying so soon? Stop! Don't.
You're not allowed to. Sorry, that's the rule.
We don't want it.
The rule and regulation is you must live at least to 60. Thank you.
And I think Black Rob had like just gotten out of prison too. If he was out, I don't even know.
Just badness, but
it's whack. So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna jump into local news. So police are whack, aren't they?
That is true.
With some major whackness that was released this past Tuesday.
This is true.
So there's some files that was getting released about about this cop or whatever who you all know this guy. We talked about him last week. The dude who was a nasty fucking child toucher. And he was the police union chief, and he did this for years.
Sorry, I just read this part. It was 13 pages out of a 105-page internal affairs file. 13!
And they all knew that he was doing it, and they didn't make any attempt to limit his contact with children.
They didn't do shit. This man was...
An attorney for a union sent a letter to Commissioner Evans on October 20th, 1997. Hey! Guess who was a couple months old?
All of us.
Except
him.
I was 6.
Old.
When we when they knew this man was raping children, molesting people,
we
being
were
a
fresh
general
out of the womb
threat. That was like over. Yeah, that was a long time ago, and they allowed it to keep happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Yes. The worst part was, these documents were supposed to come out last Friday. That's when this is where Kim Janey fucked up also, by the way. So they were supposed to come out on Friday, and she told BPD, y'all gotta release these documents because the people need to see what the hell is happening.
The documents.
And they made her look like a fool because Friday came and everybody was like, so where are the documents?
Where are the documents?
And she had to be like, well, we're gonna get them on Tuesday. There were some delays. What are the delays?
They always have delays.
What's
BPD
the delays on releasing 13 pages?
BPD is
I could release 13 pages faster than that. I can read very quickly, highlight some shit real fast.
They're very opposed to transparency, so they do everything in their power to not release anything anybody requests.
Yes, it's
they
fact.
need to go through so
literally
much bureaucracy.
Anything. It could be just a simple question. The police will give you the police, DA's offices, shit. Basically, any government form that you want to find or non-government form, they'll be like, do you need this? Or they'll try and charge you, which they should never charge you for information. A lot of information is free.
Yeah, like why? Like yeah. So they knew this was going on for decades, and then refused and didn't do anything
Didn't
because
do shit.
cops are a gang and it's sick. But on to more police nasty
yes.
rapist police news. The nasty rapist cop who admitted to running down protesters during the George Floyd protests in May is a nasty rapist, and he's back on the job.
He's back on, I think, desk duty now?
He's back on desk duty. They're like, oh, investigation, but he's back now. Shh, it's okay.
Me just sick because, ooh, move the mouse. When I read, I think last year when it came out about him, or last year, because it's 2021.
Yeah.
And they said that. I said, what you mean he was accused of sexual assault? And then I read today, first, for me, because, the way I think BPD works, I was like, he was accused and they just let it slide and he moved on. And that is exactly what happened, but I didn't think it was as bad as it is. So he agreed to serve 1 year unpaid suspension and then he was back on the force. Which basically means this man raped somebody. They said, you probably did that shit. And they were like, oh, just take a year off. Just go work construction with your homie. Just go chill for a while, collect unemployment, and then come back.
Fucking disgusting.
And he's been on the force ever since 2021. That was 2005.
Disgusting.
And these men just and we are expected to believe, like, back the blue and care about them, that they're gonna come and protect us.
Yeah,
so
right.
You could come and rape me. I'm not trusting you.
Yeah, right. All these cops they're all dirty.
Y'all dirty.
Nasty.
Bad people.
Nasty. Bad man.
Bad.
That's all we have for police in Boston now. We didn't even make a big agenda today. We was lazy. Anyway, there was a mayoral forum on 420 blazing. Anyway,
call the police.
I want free from this.
Also, I want people to know, whenever I say call the police, it's a joke, it's a jest. Never call the police, thank you.
Yeah, don't call the police because they'll just hurt you. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them.
It's a saying.
Not healthy in the brain meat.
We should go through all the questions. I think
all right. So first question so let's talk about the hoes that was there. So the one major hoe was not there. Kim Janey was not there, but John,
for a stupid reason we should talk about also.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that afterwards. So Kim Janey was not there. Just remember that for the later. Just put that in the back of your mind. So John Battles was there. Andre Campbell was there. Anissa Asabi George was there. John Santiago was there, and Michelle Wu was there. So the people who matter were there. And some people who don't, low-key to me. Anyway,
most of the people.
So thanks to Jonathan Cohn on Twitter for live tweeting this shit. Because nobody's trying to watch it, even though I did watch some of it at 1.75 speed, and it was still very slow. Anyway, so the first question was, what is the one thing that makes you uniquely qualified for the job? And John Barros was like, my executive background.
Boo.
Like, sir, that's really selfish of you and useless. What are you, Donald Trump? What are you talking about? Executive background. What did you do? Nothing. So that's what he said. Andrea Campbell was like her lived experience or whatever. And yeah, like I said, we did skim through to, hear a little bit what they were saying to, make sure or whatever. And that's what they said. She was like, yeah, lived in area, the life.
That's not a great answer, to be honest with you.
Lived in another area,
because
grew up however I grew up.
One could say Marty Walsh had lived experience because he grew up.
Well, she didn't grow up here. She grew up.
Oh, yeah, so I don't understand.
Anyway, as a black woman and cool. Anissa
Asabi George
was she was like, cause I taught in East Boston. That was an interesting answer. She was like, there were kids from all over the city, but mostly from East Boston. And yeah, that makes her uniquely qualified to be mayor for some reason. Okay, that's what I'd be saying in my job interviews. Yeah,
I am uniquely qualified for this.
Anyway,
is she Caucasian or is she spicy?
She's spicy-ish.
Her dad is Tunisian.
She's spicy-ish.
Okay.
She
Yes.
calls herself a woman of
Anywho.
color. John Santiago said because of his career in public service, which like these answers are so self-serving.
I ain't tell you to be a doctor.
Like, sir, like what does that mean? Like, what
Or
does
join
that
the army?
mean? And Michelle Wu said because of her vision for Boston, which
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
makes
is
sense.
the only valid answer. I'm sorry, I know I'm biased, but like, does anybody think like I don't know? John Barrow's sucking his own dick about his background, like.
And this is
John
John
Santiago jacking himself off about being in public service, and this is just spitting out anything. And Campbell, fair enough, I guess, but like, what does that have to do with me? Like, but anyway, so the next question was
they didn't prepare for that answer well.
they asked them about the Chauvin ruling or whatever. And the candidates were all just like, oh, systematic racism, policing, da 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 da. So they was like, what? So then they asked him, what would you do as a mayor to address it?
Crying all alone on the bathroom floor because he's hungry.
Yeah, exactly. So they asked him, what would you do as mayor to address issues with policing? And Campbell was like, yo, there's racial inequities. I had to like call mad people to get the stop and frisk. They didn't want to give it to me, a city councilor. They didn't want to give it to me. How terrible. And you know what? We found out that it was 70%. They were stopping 70% of black people. 70% of the stops were black people. And there's only 25% of us in the city. That's exactly what she said. Mm-hmm. And I fucked up. She didn't say that.
And I fucked up.
That's fucked up.
And she was like, we need greater transparency, obviously, because, you know, it was mad hard to get the shits. And she was like, we need a civilian review board. Which...
And it's to say, push for implicit bias tracing.
Yeah.
Training.
Implicit bias training. Because
that's what...
I'm like, she didn't want to defund or anything like that. And whatever. I feel like I've done bias training with the police. They're fucking biased. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we have so many examples, bro. Like, we literally just talked last week about the homie who... No, we didn't talk about it on the show. I think we just talked about it on Lee's comments. Yes. homie had a whole, like, interview with CBS this morning. Like, you know, I understand... like, why this stopping this black boy all the time is bad now. I understand he's a teen empowerment organizer. You know, he was involved in stuff, but now he's at a point in his life where I don't have to harass him. And before, I shouldn't have been harassing him anyway, but whatever, anyway. But then, you know, niggas was still harassing people. Got famous off harassing somebody. Are you Kevin? What up?
Are you Kevin?
Like, and I've talked to so many cops. I've worked with so many cops, and they're all just, like... either niggas like know and they're like, yeah, we know, or they're like racist and they don't like, and the people who know, they're complicit, so it doesn't matter. Like, I'm like, I talked to all type of Cape Verdean and Haitian and black and whoever else cops, like, they all know, but like,
they be in the videos with them, like when the guy got stopped because he was running around with random, like, 4 phones.
Yes, mad phones.
And one of the men in that video, somebody me in Malaysia had an interview, police youth dialogue with weeks before, like months before, like they're there in all those instances.
My literal homie, like, that was my dude, like, and I'm like, cops cannot be fakes, like, bro, they can be cordial, they can know you and not talk shit to you.
Anissa's answer might be the worst.
She definitely had the worst answer because
implicit bias training.
She had the worst answer because that's no change.
I want to be taunted about, racial equity while getting shot.
That's no change. Implicit bias training, like, what the fuck? They're still gonna shoot people and smack people and stop people. Anyway. John Santiago talks about systematic racism, but he was like, bro, we need police to protect people. We need community policing. And you know what? I was doing that in the legislature. We were doing a good policing bill.
The bill that all of us hated because they took out all the good stuff? Yeah. Cool.
Whatever.
Thanks, John, for nothing.
And Michelle Wu brought up Patrick Rose, which is a homie we just talked about, the anti-homie.
The mega rapist.
The nasty 20-year gross demon. And she was talking about how she was fighting against facial surveillance, which is a big issue, to be honest, because that shit, like, negatively affects black people more than anybody else because they don't know how to recognize our faces.
Mm-hmm.
We all look the same to them.
All look the same. They're gonna put you in a place you weren't at and say that it was you.
Right. Anyway.
Ban all facial surveillance.
Ban facial surveillance, yes. And you know, she was talking about fighting for greater transparency. And she said, you know, she actually talked about, you know, reallocating and defunding, which, yes, in fact.
My favorite answer. Barros, apologies. I missed this because I was discussing with other planning team members about questions. Me. I know you hear me. I know you heard the question, John. I know you heard it. You just didn't want to.
No, it was him.
What?
The dude missed it.
Who? I thought I said Barros missed it.
No, he missed it.
Oh, I thought he missed it.
Yeah, no, like the dude capturing it.
Oh, no, but we did listen to it.
Yeah,
it wasn't a good answer either way.
It was
actually,
a
never mind.
I
can still rash you because your answer was still bad.
No, yeah, I was gonna say he said something. He was just talking about like he kind of mentioned, but like he talked about him getting stopped and like how that bothered him.
And how it was scary.
About the Chauvin verdict. But he also talked about like, and then he talked about like, yeah, but you know, police protection, we need. They were basically just like more like bureaucracy. He talked about a civilian review board type thing too. Like, I'm like, we don't need more bureaucracy. We need less police. Like, they need less funding. I think he might have mentioned putting something into social services. But, like, it just wasn't far enough. And I think John Barros, like, he's not convincing me that he deserves to be in this, like, race.
I hope he gets no signatures. I know he will, but I hope he gets none. I hope next week every signature volunteer drops out.
And then they said, what would you cut from the BPD and where would you redirect the money? And Barros was like, need for professionals change in de-escalation to respond to mental health crisis and to take police out of schools. Wu said police shouldn't be in schools. Spoke about her ordinance on the alternative crisis response. Noted how police can often increase harm when they're called for response. Which is true. Santiago talked about diverting calls from 911.
But he just like both of them. They don't answer questions at all.
Because he wants more police. Like, so it's hard to say that in a like you know, we can say like, oh, X amount of people don't actually believe in defund the police, but people like know that the police are harming their community. So like it's hard to just be like, nah, it's fine. Like even if they don't want the police gone. But anyway. And Campbell was like committed to cutting the police, but she committed to cutting the police budget by 10%, and talked about the role of community-based organizations in reducing violence, which I don't agree with because most community-based organizations don't do shit.
Facts. Giving money to more nonprofits, just don't do that. Don't do it because most of them are ineffective. And it just don't make sense.
And Asabi George was like, don't move money away from the BPD. We love the BPD. No, she didn't say that. But
I love your donations. Thank you so much.
But anyway, they said, yeah, they need to, she's like, you need to invest money into community groups and services. But, like, the BPD needs their money.
Okay, but my issue is, Anissa, whenever those Frank Baker and all them talk, where are you getting the money? Where are you getting the money? I need to get it from you guys because you guys don't do your job effectively.
They say, but every time we ask them for something, they say we don't have it in the budget. But all of a sudden, when we're asking them to decrease the police funding, we all of a sudden have money in the budget to do all this stuff. I'm confused. Because if we didn't have money, if we couldn't afford it before, how all of a sudden we have money whenever we're asking to defund the police? It doesn't make any sense. And also,
were there any interesting questions? Other ones? Or those are the two most interesting?
I
thought there was another interesting one. Let me just scrolling.
That was it.
Oh, there was another thread, but it's okay. It wasn't linking together. But yeah, it's Twitter's fault. Oh, it's fine. Just go look at it. Go look at we can put the Twitter thread in the restream link, so you guys can check it out. But you know, who came out on top?
For us, we already.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they said police overtime found it.
Oh, okay, there we go. They had more juice in here.
Police overtime cap. Let me see. Do you support eliminating the BPDA? What's that? I forgot.
I don't know either.
I used to know.
The Boston Public Police Department.
Boston Planning Department, something?
Association.
agency.
Wow. Yeah, the Planning and Development Agency. Look at me.
Campbell said no reform it. Barrow said no increase its size. Whew. Wu said build a separate planning agency so we can address equity, affordability, and climate resilience.
Yeah, because the Boston planning.
Yeah, it's very like what's it called? Like what's it called? Like nepotism, all that stuff.
And very slow. They're very not even like proactive. They're just like they just exist.
And they're they give to people who are already in power anyway. Asabi George obviously said don't dismantle the BPDA, but create a separate planning
I got
office
questions.
in addition
How
to
many
it.
different offices, how many different agencies, separate committees are we going to continue making to address these issues?
And
This is my problem with all of these answers is, put it to this person, create a new committee, create a new this. This doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah,
putting more people in charge of a problem just means there's more people.
Also, you gotta say like who is in charge of the problem, like who are you gonna put there for real? Like who's actually gonna make a difference than the people you already have? Like
what are the employment barriers?
What the hell?
Y'all gonna only hire people with bachelor degrees that aren't from Boston that never dealt with these issues? Y'all gonna hire people that have PhDs and masters but don't do any community work? Like, keep it a buck. Like, you say create a separate office, but what's the office gonna do to create equity? What's the office gonna do to create more like additional planning committees? Like, what's that gonna do?
And John Santiago said reform it, but not much else.
A lot of hand waving. And then follow up about that, blah blah blah. Let's go down. Just they talked a lot about this damn planning.
I mean, it's important.
It is a very important
of,
thing. Yes.
Gentrification and all that stuff.
They talked a great deal about it.
John
Santiago, please stop answering questions. Please, sir, before the next forum,
Bro,
please stop answering things with these answers.
John Santiago, like, nobody cares what you did in the legislature, what you didn't do in the legislature, because nobody in your district fucked with you. What are you talking about, sir? How are you using something? Nobody liked you, sir. Nobody agreed. Nobody wanted. You're running in the city that these people are in. They know you.
Never forget whose seat he took.
Like, come on.
Never forget, because everybody said we're going to get a more progressive person. Instead, we're getting somebody that don't do shit, but talk about everything that's being done.
And why does he want to be mayor? It doesn't make any sense to me that he wants to be mayor after he went from being state rep to mayor. Or state rep to mayor. Doesn't make sense to me.
To be honest, I'm still a little confused on why Nissa wants to run. Of all the women running, she makes the least amount of sense to me, beyond her just being white and being from that area.
Fair. Wu said at one point that when you have house planning and development in the same agency, it ends up run by the developers, which is a fair argument. They asked about affordable housing, and John Santiago talked about fuck it. Wu talked about expanding the use of green and social bonds, expanding for first generation homeowners, way to reduce racial wealth gap. True, do that. Extending emergency protections, need for rent stabilization, in addition to increasing supply. Good terminology. We, us people who be writing that shit love that term, rent stabilization. It's better than rent control. That's not as buzzwordy.
Yes.
Asabi George was like, home ownership.
Yeah, because your husband owned all that land.
And creation of more affordable and workforce housing.
20 House George.
Campbell talked about home ownership and equity. Bottle said something about...
No. This nigga always want to create a fund, sorry.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he was an executive. That's what he said.
No.
All he want to do is do executive stuff.
Sorry.
That's not what we need from a mayor, bro. Like, you should be in the office then. Like, you should be in the administration then.
Why?
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're the mayor. You wouldn't want to be the mayor, not the fucking whatever you was under Marty Walsh. Why you keep telling the same shit?
Equity something?
Like, this is bullshit. But he said creating a fund to prevent evictions and displacement, increasing affordable housing production, and changing AMI to reflect actual numbers for the city.
No, thank you. Continue. Change AMI, yes.
But bro, what about, like, making homeowner. What about home ownership, my guy?
This is
Transparency in city government. Who cares?
Nobody answered it well from this. Okay, continue.
Who cares? I don't care about.
I'm looking for the goods.
No.
Oh yes, this is the goods.
Should school committee be hybrid, elected, or appointed? Asabi George said should be appointed, but change the nomination process. Girl.
Canceled.
Santiago said interested in exploring a hybrid model,
Canceled.
but not specific about how. He means not gonna do it. Campbell said supports a hybrid model, but committed to a specific one, and if about. And she not sure if the non-appointed should be publicly elected. What? What does that mean? Fully supports student vote. Okay,
I guess that's good.
Cool. Supports appointed but wants youth vote. Yes.
Bahro, where did you prepare these answers? I'm sorry, this man did not come on his A game. He must have been asleep or something.
Wu wants majority elected school committee hybrid with appointed seats to reflect expertise and diversity. Need for immediate reforms. Also, many other issues to address with BPS, citing her recent plan. I just I feel like there should be youth. You should be able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they should just be able to vote in city elections in general. But at least for the school committee, they should just be able to vote. And we should be able to vote. And that's it. I don't know. Maybe one appointed seat, maybe. But I don't know why we need an appointed seat. It's a school committee. We should be able to elect our school committee. It should be by ward or whatever, or by district or whatever the fuck.
It does not make sense.
And if they want to be like, oh, it's not gonna be equal, but how is it not gonna be equal if people are able to vote? If you don't have barriers to voting, it should be fair,
right,
based on our segregated ass city. So no, fuck this. Come on, just allow us why don't y'all like democracy? That's my question. I don't understand why y'all want less democracy.
What do you mean a hybrid model? Isn't that enough democracy? Like we elect some of them, maybe.
But what is the need for appointing people except to make sure that the executive branch's wants get through? That they're gonna be like, oh yeah, and the appointed person is gonna be the head of the council. Like, no, what Shut up.
Suddenly, every time that person says something, the whole table turns their votes. Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
We know how that's written, homies.
All right. Charter schools. Should we increase the number of charter schools? We'll say, nah! We need to invest in all our public schools. Talks about how many are underfunded. That's a fancy new charter building. Also, some charter buildings are... The problem also is that some charter buildings are not fancy. And that's another thing. Some of them are fucked up in weird places.
Roxbury Prep right in... what's that, Warren?
Yes.
That shit is ghetto.
So small and tight and, unsafe. And then there's that Bridge Prep right next to BLA, and that's too many schools in one small area. And Asari George said, no, charter schools have taken advantage of the system. True.
Period.
Santiago said,
I was like, Santiago said what?
Partner with chartering schools. Something about partnering with charter schools. Homie didn't see, and I didn't watch either, to be honest. And Campbell said, it's a state issue, and it's been resolved. Hedges the question, but talks about equity. Because she supports charter schools, by the way.
I like the follow-up. I think Santiago did not actually answer the question.
Vado says school funding is broken, but we can learn a lot from charter schools, and they're great.
Okay, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen a pattern in the past 20 minutes as we've discussed this, but some of these things are not like the other, and some of these things are like the other. I would...
Yo, does he know? I don't have the exact same political opinions as most of the city of Boston, but most of us agree about charter schools, and he sounds he don't sound no.
He said no, they're great. I love them.
Exam schools.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much. Ugh. Asabi said the recent exam school ruling. She was like, "I'm pro exam schools. Taking away exam schools doesn't solve the problem." That's not what they asked, but okay. Nobody's taking away exam schools, but alright.
That is what they asked because are you with the racists or are you no with the racists? And she said, "I love racism."
She said, "Racism sounds good to me." That's what I heard anyway. That's what I heard. Botto said we need equal access to exam schools which provide a great opportunity. I guess that answers the question, but I guess you're supposed to assume he supports it, but also you don't have to. Campbell supports the 1-year change, but needs more robust parent engagement about assuring equity and access to the exam schools. Okay, I think so.
Did Wu answer? Oh, it's coming. Okay. It didn't.
Santiago said fuck it. Said lick my dick. Exam schools are great. I don't know. Apparently. I didn't watch this
is why
part.
you can't watch them. You can only attend them. Watching them sucks. Attending them is so much fun when you can boo them.
Like, nigga, what are you talking about?
Huh? When you can go, huh? And they get mad. I love it.
Wu supported the 1-year change due to the impossibility of the test, need for equity at every step of the way and change, but a change needed to admissions process. Okay, good. Thanks. I thought she was going to say something else, so I got nervous there. Next question. I don't care about lost instructional time. I don't give a fuck.
They
about
all gave
that.
Charlie. I'll give you a recap on this question for Charlie Baker on his cover response. They all gave him too high of grades. The lowest was a C-. The highest was a B-.
Yeah.
So
Bottles would say B-, you corny bro.
Everybody.
Corny
she said, since I have to, Campbell, if you have to, you go with E. E for effort. Thank you.
E like Sonic.
E like elefante. Thank you. What was this? What would you do to get an A grade for response?
He didn't even see it. Should
I
the
love
city
these.
council be able to make changes to the budget? Wu and Asabi, George, Campbell all said yes. Barros and Santiago said no.
That's a very
They are goofballs. They're like, we weren't city councilors, so we don't want to have to be accountable to city councilors.
wild. Changing the charter to allow ranked choice voting in local elections, all said yes, which is a duh.
Yes.
It's at this point, it's almost like a basic democratic principle.
Do you support removing the police from all the Boston Public Schools? Everyone said yes except Asabi George, who is a white woman.
Do you support requiring BPD to get city council approval for any purchase of surveillance equipment?
Wu, Campbell, Asabi George, and Bardo said yes. John Santiago said no. Sir?
His answers are very interesting.
John Bardos and John Santiago, they're just confused. This is why men are not, they don't need to be in this race right now. They're confused because they don't know what to do. They're like, I love liberalism, but I also know I need to be progressive. And John Bardos like, but the police, I don't like them. But also I like them. But they don't like me. Oh, but also they like me.
The most important question, do you support shuttering the Boston Police gang database?
We'll say yes. Campbell said maybe. I don't know. We don't know if Campbell
yes,
said
question
yes.
mark?
Campbell probably said yes. And Barros, Asabi George, and Santiago said no.
Yet again, addressing Barros. He talked about having a bad experience with the police. That report just a few weeks ago came out basically saying...
He's probably on the gang database.
That this database does nothing to solve crimes. Why would we have a database that has no purpose but to just collect data?
He's probably on the gang database, by the way. They asked, do you support a hard cap on police overtime as a % of a cop's salary? Barros, Campbell, and Wu said yes. Asabi George and John Santiago said no. Ho asses. Do you support safe consumption sites? What's that, for drugs?
Yes.
Wu said,
I'm guessing yes.
Yes, but with equity and sitting. Santiago said yes, but not in the South End. Fair.
He should have said Roxbury.
Roxbury too, right? But the South End.
It was Roxbury.
His bitch ass area is the South End.
Where everybody hates him.
Bardos said only as part of rehab. Yes, only as part of rehab. And Campbell said yes. Asabi George said no.
How is a safe consumption site as only part of a rehab mix?
I guess he means like if they come they could do it, but you have to then like give them, I don't know.
Why would I come then? I might as well just keep doing drugs on Mass Ave if you're gonna force me to go to rehab. You could talk to me about it, but
they all support a real estate transfer tax. What does that mean? Oh, like when you pass your property over to your kids or something?
Oh, no, but more for like when you keep trying to do it within like a certain number of years, I believe. It's like when you're trying to sell things like 5 years after selling it or something.
All agreed to a $2 million threshold except John Santiago. They asked if Massachusetts repealed the ban on rent control, would you try to pass such an ordinance? Wu said yes. Campbell might have said yes. And Asabi George, Santiago, and John Barrow said no.
A strong no.
Should majority affordable units be built on site? Yes. Wu, Campbell, and Asabi George said yes. I'm confused. Bottle said in the neighborhood. What?
This is why it was really important to go through this whole thread.
Like, oh my goodness.
Because they flip-flopped on, like, the answer would be yes, and then it'd be no, and then it'd be maybe
I'm
so.
confused about what Anissa, Bottles, and Santiago, what do y'all want? John Santiago, I think he just rolling down the river, my nigga. He just grabbing any answer that comes to his head.
Referencing back to the first question, none of them have given a vision. While Michelle Wu has consistently given, like, yes answers that come in part with the vision. Very important to keep that in mind when you're thinking about who you should vote for when you research them, because all of them are like, don't make sense.
This is tiring. But what does he mean in the bro? Is that not just segregation? He said, no, you can't build it in the same house. The poor is in the same building. We gotta just put them in the neighborhood. Like,
fuck it.
And then Santiago said don't want to limit developers because he's a poophead. Municipal broadband. Yes, broadband? That sounds like a weird word. Broadband.
Broadband?
Yep, broads. It's a broadband.
It's a band of broads.
Yep, all of them said yes, but Michelle was more exploring it as a part of our digital equity plan, which makes sense because the bitch got a plan for everything. She learned it from her mentor, Elizabeth Warren. Non-citizens voting. Barros, Wu, and Campbell said yes. Make a sense because Barros the immigrant, Wu the immigrant, and Campbell just a black that understand. Santiago, a Puerto Rican that don't understand for some reason, very confusing.
And Asabi George, a daughter of an immigrant who doesn't understand.
Tunisia, a Tunisian person, most notably known for Arab Spring, a jumpstart of democracy in kind of North Africa and the Middle East, but whatever. And then, okay, so we've reached the end. In conclusion, check out the whole thread or watch the video to get the whole kind of gist of... That's a stupid question. That's why I didn't want to talk about it, please. It was a question about Earth. The last question was about Earth Day. That's why I didn't even look at that shit. But, okay, so now on to the reason why Kim Janey was not at this damn forum.
So Kim Janey was blazing it up 420 gang, with the crew. She was out there 420 in it and making some money. But yeah, she was getting her industry cash. And what's her name? Kim Janey.
What's her name?
We've been reading so many names.
We were, but it was funny.
I was just thinking Wu, Campbell, but no, she has been a strong defender, advocate for the recreational marijuana industry, especially in terms of equity. Well, what she says is about equity in the marijuana industry. So it's not surprising to me. I would have liked to see her at that campaign forum, but I don't think she would like us to see her at that campaign forum. So there's that.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Also, another thing I will say is that initially she was supposed to be on this forum. She backed out due to the fact of having to have a press conference to address the... first of all, she needed to have one early in the day to address the release of the documents. Then she had one about Kavanaugh. Hoban? Chauvin. Okay.
Derek Hoban.
Hoban.
Get it?
Hoban. Me. I swear his name was Chauvinoff. Why I say Hoban here?
It's Derek Chauvin. Hoban.
Anywho, so she had a press conference about that, which I don't think necessarily wanted a press conference, to be honest. But, so that's why she didn't join the forum, which to me... okay.
Anyway, so that's local news. That was boring, sorry. National news, unfortunately, there's been another extrajudicial murder of a black person. This time, a 15-year-old black girl, 16 maybe, I don't know, 15 or 16.
Yeah, I read both reports. I saw 15
named
in the 16.
Makia Bryant. was killed by the police after her family called the police because she was being attacked.
She was finna get jumped outside her house.
And they killed her.
And the police drove up and killed her after her family called to get her help. And I just want somebody to know something. In a state like Ohio, I feel like I have free reign to, if somebody come to jump me, I call the police. Y'all not showing up in time. I have the reign to come up to you with the knife and tell you to get the fuck off my house.
Like, what is the point of the police saying? It's the same thing with, like, Adam Toledo. What is the point of police saying, like, drop your weapon if they're gonna shoot you anyway? I don't know what they said. I don't really, like... Yeah.
There's no even point in watching a video like that. Like, if a police is not able to de-escalate a situation, you should not be a police officer. Because I thought that was, like, the basic tenets of being a police officer, was to have the ability to de-escalate. But none of these motherfuckers know how to de-escalate because they don't know how to de-escalate their own hands from stopping to shooting innocent people.
Recently, I don't know where it was, but the police beat an elderly woman with dementia after she accidentally stole something from Walmart.
Yeah, the worst part was that when the Walmart employee, like, went up to her, she was like, "Oh, I'll pay. I'm sorry, I forgot." And the Walmart employee was like, "No, we have to call the police."
Like, why? Why? This is why we say abolish the police, because this is what the police get called for. And then they come and hurt people. This woman had dementia. She, like, you know, like, that's terrible. Like...
This is, like, the need to call the police and instantly punish people. Like, it's Walmart. You think her stealing $20 or $30, $40 of stuff from Walmart is such a big dent for you? It's an old-ass lady. Is gonna be such a dent that you need to make a big ass deal about it. You bugging.
Yo, and then so obviously Derek Hovind got his convictions on all 3 counts of shit because he did that shit and was very happy while he was killing a man. And there have been a lot of terrible, ridiculous reactions.
Famously, the Las Vegas Raiders, one of those Raiders, wherever the Raiders are now, said, "I can breathe."
Like
for
what?
20 was it 420 421
yeah, whatever it was
2021, and everybody was like, what?
No, like, this is one guy. Like, this is my thing. This case was so big, so, like, everybody was watching, the world was watching, there were so many protests, so much stuff. Like, they knew they had to give us this one. That's why the prosecution came so hard. Like, they knew that if this could be a catalyst for actual structural shifting if people didn't get what they wanted from this one. And it still should be. People shouldn't step back or relax because this one guy got convicted one time. That doesn't change the culture of policing in America.
It hasn't.
Me with all those people are like, finally, justice, me. But what about for everybody else?
And is it really justice? He's still dead for no reason. Dead. Like, it's barely justice at this point. This man's probably not even going to get a long time in prison.
Justice for me would be for him to get the chair and then have his charred body cooked by the jail chef for the cannibals.
See, Kano's take it too far.
And Nancy Pelosi just out of her mind
okay,
talking about
guys, we need
talking
to talk about
some
this.
Thank you,
Thank you, George Floyd, for your sacrifice.
Like, no, he did not sacrifice. He was murdered by this man.
However, it was 8 minutes or something.
Over 9 minutes. Apparently.
Over 9 minutes, he was like, "Hey, yo, bad stuff is starting to happen to me. I would like to live. Call it for my mother. I did not sacrifice myself."
She was like, if he hadn't have called out for his mother, how sad was that? Ma'am. Oh my goodness.
I also want you guys to know that a few months ago on Twitter, I saw these weird people, these hipsters, hoteps, talking about this is the Democrats' plan. George Floyd is a sacrifice for the Democrats so that they can win the election. And now this bitch Nancy Pelosi get on this damn stage and want to be saying he was a sacrifice, basically. Now Illuminati is confirmed.
Umar Johnson's gonna run with this one.
All of them hoteps gonna run with this.
Okay,
Nancy Pelosi might be the queen of saying the things that...
saying the quiet part out loud?
Yes! She be saying stuff that would, like, get crazies going.
Oh, also, everybody was mad at Maxine Waters because she was like, take to the streets before the verdict was read. And people were like, you shouldn't, because you're a politician in a sitting U.S. representative, and you shouldn't say things before the verdict is announced as if you want a certain verdict to go a certain way. Well, I do. we all watched a video of him killing this man. Like, I don't know what they want people to say. They want Maxine Waters to stop being black. They want her to stop having a family who's black, stop knowing black men. What do they want?
No, that's exactly what it is. It's
Like,
actually what most corporate jobs are. They want everybody to stop being whatever race it is that they are.
Be
it's
raceless.
Like sickening. Like, or
when
whatever.
you step in these walls, you a white bitch.
You a white bitch.
Also, trigger warning, because I just want to get this away really quickly.
It's my favorite topic, guys.
People on Twitter and Instagram and the internet have been saying
Summer Walker most famously shared something about this.
Have been saying that women have been having abnormal bleeding
and miscarriages
from being near somebody who got the vaccine, not getting the vaccine themselves, being near somebody. There have been people have been sharing the same like 2 stories over and over again, and they're not really confirmed or anything like that. And it's just ridiculous. It's just the idea is just generally ridiculous. Like, people like, just get the vaccine, okay? Like, just go get the Pfizer, the Moderna. Just go get it. Like, it's cool. Just get it. That's fine. Like, you're gonna be okay. Like, if somebody next to you has it, it's not gonna hurt you. I don't understand how you think. I don't understand. They think the vaccine, somebody next to them having the vaccine, gonna hurt them, but they don't think somebody next to them having corona is gonna hurt them. Explain it to me. Like, I don't understand.
And also, it is confirmed by doctors. I don't know if a lot of women know this, because I didn't really know it for a while. But your, like, what's the uterine lining and stuff like that correlates to your immune system. So if you're a woman that's having, like, heavier bleeding and things in response to the COVID vaccine, that's absolutely normal. But shit they just don't tell you. Like, that should be one of the side effects that people are telling women when they do get the coronavirus, that there is a likelihood that your bleeding could, like, start faster or go longer, and it's because it's an immune system response. It's getting used to the fact there's something that wasn't there before, and that's really important information that people should know. I saw it on a TikTok doctor's post. They were like, it's very normal, and it could happen with any vaccine, but we don't tell people that.
Wow. Anyway, there was one more thing, I'm sorry, about police violence. People need to remember that it's like all of us, we're all in it. None of us are safe. I think about Sandra Bland a lot, like
my birthday twin.
The fact that like they you know, like, we still really don't know what happened, like, and it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're a professor going to a new job. It doesn't matter if they're EMT sleeping in their bed.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter if they're a man or woman. Like, it's terrible. A child, like, we're not safe, and it's not like. People sometimes make it a black man issue, as if like women aren't supposed to defend people from police brutality, because like it's not just black men, it's all of us. It's black people as a whole.
I know we don't think about it, but we've had great examples, like Malaysia said, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor.
There's so many, like
homegirl from what's her name? What can I say? Makia Bryant. Like, there are far and wide examples of black women being abused by police that don't often, like, get caught in the media, or just being, like, there were cases, some in New York, of women being sexually assaulted by police officers that were just being forgotten. And this is, like, around the country. This stuff happens and people don't notice. Like, the police are an active, like, negative force against black people.
And, like, people, like, black women who want to be like, oh, divest from the black community, want to act like the police brutality isn't a black woman problem too. It is.
They'll kill you too. Don't worry. Don't fret. Don't fret, because when you get with that country ass white man that worked for the sheriff's office, when he start beating you, that's also police brutality too, homegirl.
But okay, on to more interesting topics. Let's show you that Bobcat video. Y'all seen the Bobcat, bro? I gotta show y'all that.
Bro.
Good morning.
Okay, I hope y'all can hear it.
Man. Yeah, this shit.
I'm gonna make it a little bigger and bigging it.
I love when he's like,
I need to wash my car.
I wish I could hear it, but I can't. Oh,
look how slow she was to recognize it. She asked us, she looked at it, she was like, it's a big ass cat.
He's like, oh, it's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat. Or is it? this lady, like, why is she running over to the Bobcat?
Oh,
She's trying to catch. He's like, it's a Bobcat. She's like, what?
Get out of the way! I'm gonna shoot this fucker.
It's a Bobcat!
I'm gonna shoot this fucker. Get out of the way!
A Bobcat!
It's a Bobcat. Yep.
On the internet.
Bobcat with the Bobcat and attacked my wife.
Attack my wife.
It's a bobcat.
Yeah, so that was a quality. I just had y'all had to see that.
No,
too.
y'all had to.
That
hear
was
about
very
it.
2021 of the Bobcat. Also, apparently it had rabies. So anybody, I just gotta say, for some reason, people were reacting to this very strangely. In my opinion, they were like, "Why is he so scared?" I'm like, "It's a fucking It's a wild animal." They're like, "Oh, it's so small. He could throw it. It's not gonna rip his face off." It literally could rip his face off. Like, that's the point. Like, it has like claws and like teeth and stuff. And apparently it was rabid too. So I don't know. Y'all just want to get your face torn off by wild animals. Apparently, I don't know. Some of y'all be acting like y'all can do anything. Go ahead.
So we're in a pandemonium right now,
A pandemic.
and you know,
We're in a
and you
Winston
know,
and Yandel.
and you know, and you know, we're in a pterodactyl right now, and you know, the immune systems are low and some immune systems are high, but right now it's at a point where it's been a couple of years. At this point, we're in year 2, I guess, that a sickness is afoot, right? So then you look at it like I look at it like this. Rabies is basically how the zombie apocalypse starts. And if she has coronavirus and gets rabies, she's gonna be a fucking zombie and cough.
Corona rabies.
Corona rabies.
Yeah, okay, next. The last topic is my favorite topic of the day, and it's about Knuckles.
What's wrong with Knuckles?
He's so cute! Look at him!
Oh, that's when Nakira sent
He's
in
a
the
king.
chat.
I sent that.
Oh, I thought Nakira sent it.
He's a king! Yep, that's what he should be wearing, his Timberland boots. Oh,
wow.
gosh.
There's a Sonic
At
2
least-
coming? I did not know that.
They should release a version of him with teeth, like like the first Sonic.
Is Jim Carrey gonna be in it too?
Yeah.
Look at Nucky.
That's hilarious.
And
I
with
love
tails.
Knuckles.
I want them all to have like human teeth.
I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. Yeah, you know Knuckles. Look at him. They made him too brolic. I hate that they like changed Knuckles' body shape. Like, he's supposed to be lean and slim. I imagine him like a
thing in his center, like they do.
I imagine him as like a little slim black man, you know, like a tall, but not little, but like kind of tall, slim, you know. Doesn't he like he used to look like that? Now he's all buff. Why? They made him look like a football player.
Yeah, they want him to be,
They want him to be a
and
stereotype.
they want him to be.
Look at ugly ass tails, bitch ass tails.
Where's Knuckles' thing?
What thing?
His white spot.
I don't know. They didn't want him to have one.
Doesn't he have one?
He used to. He used to have better sneakers too. What they put him in? Like, what are those?
What are those?
What are those? Anyway. All right.
No, I don't care.
I was gonna make this the background. That's what it was. I remember now.
Why was it that white man with the towel?
The black man with the towel. Just for fun.
I'm going blind, guys. Good night.
Just for fun.